bit of a contrast from the heavenly to the earthly topic of church finances, but it is all about God's work. Right, at the back of the church there are some copies of the annual report that we produce every year. It's also been circulated online, but if you want a hard copy, there's plenty there. I do encourage you to read it. All charities have to produce a report like this one. It effectively is our way of being accountable to everybody involved in giving and so on. It says what money we've got, how we spent it, and what we've achieved with it. So all charities produce one of those. It's independently examined, and there's some copies of the signed examiner's report, which didn't quite make it to this copy, also at the back. So, just to tell you a bit about the sort of key parts that are in this. Our general fund is money that we use for day-to-day running of the church. It's the main focus of what I'm talking about. So as this slide shows, we had overall income about 126,000, spent a bit more than that. So we had a deficit on the year. That was pretty much planned, not a huge amount to worry about, because we started the year with a good, sort of healthy balance of about 17,000. Looking into a bit more detail, looking at where our income comes from, as you can see about 2/3 of it is, or I should say 3/5 of it, is donated income. So that's what you give by standing order in the collection plate, and by cards giving on the website, on the QR code. That's donations. And the column that says activities is about 2,500. That's basically money from weddings and funerals. And if anyone puts a little bit in a sort of coffee pot or whatever, things like that. Letting is letting of the flat here at St Paul's, as well as the other users of this building and St Mary's. And there's quite a bit more income in 2023 compared to the previous year, mainly because of the Romanian Orthodox Church that meets quite a few times a week in some areas, and also because we put some prices up because of energy prices. And there were a couple of oddies last year. One is insurance. That's to do with the boarded up door at the back of the church. We spent some money there on just designing the doors that are soon going to be fitted. And we also got a one-off grant from the diocese towards very high heating bills, which helped very much. So that's how our income comes from. Our costs, our single biggest cost is our parish share. That's the money that we send to the diocese that pays for Martin and Joking and trains their successors, pays for their pensions and everything like that. Our other costs, again just showing the main sort of areas compared to the previous year. First column, mission. That's what we give away to the various mission societies and agencies that we support. Activities, that's everything that we spend on church, food, coffee, candles, communion, wine. The biggest part of that is actually clergy expenses. Utilities is energy, water, broadband, waste collection. Nearly all the difference compared to 2022 is electric and gas. Maintenance, again we planned to spend quite a lot last year. A good portion of that, 3,000 of that maintenance, was the preliminary work for the door repairs, so it was covered by the insurance. But we had a lot of really big expensive things last year. New window in the office, boiler repairs, water heater going wrong in the hall here, the roof alarm going, needing several parts replaced. It will cost quite a bit to run these premises. and administration, that is supporting all our office costs, also the management of the flat, that's covered by an estate agent, the paper, photocopying, office costs, copyright and so on. So that's how we spend money on a day-to-day basis. Moving from our general fund, which is for an unrestricted fund, we're free to spend it on what we wish, to restricted funds, which are limited to the purpose for which they're given. So this slide highlights what happened with St Paul's development. It's a really astonishing income. We started the year with a good balance. We got pretty much all that we required to do the lighting and rewiring in here. Some of that was spent at the tail end of this last year, and of course the rest is being spent at this very moment. So that's the development fund. Now St Mary's has two funds. The St Mary's Development Fund for the new hall, which they're looking towards. So the donations are quietly ticking over there, the fundraising. St Mary's also has another fund called St Mary's General Fund, or Care and Maintenance Fund. And this had a generous donation as a legacy from, some of you may know, John Terran. There's a long association with the parish, and he left some money for St Mary's too. And spending there was on St Mary's new notice board. We have various other restricted funds. Really, each of these highlight someone's generosity somewhere. They're not just there's pots of money sitting there. So much money was given to support Sarah Chiwawa in Tanzania, pay for her education, with generous donations to the new flooring in the smaller walls, rooms out the back, and yes, also funding for some professional help with Teddy Day Fund as well. So those are some main restricted funds. The outlook for this coming year, 2024, well, on the good side, we're starting the year with a good balance in the bank. On the downside, we're still struggling a bit to sort of balance the books in this coming year. Our expenditure on our budget sort of plans to use pretty much all of that. Electricity prices and gas prices tend to be still high. We're in high contracts which will renew partway through the year, so hopefully we're going to get some better prices there. But hopefully it gives you a flavour of the church's income and expenses. Just to finish off by saying thank you. I'm the treasurer, but not the only one involved. So Mandy faithfully takes the cash to the bank each week. Chris Scanlon, who's with us this morning, manages stuff on the gift aid side of things. Victor is continual help to me. Tony and Dee, some people give by the envelope schemes, you know, those little white envelopes that people put in the offering. Tony and Dee manage that and sort of reconcile everything at the end of